You will hear an intermittent alarm sounder, and we ask you to remain seated and await further instructions. If an evacuation is required, an announcement will be made from this podium. Stewards are available and will provide assistance to you. Please walk quickly and without pushing or impeding others to the nearest exit. Do not attempt to re-enter the building until advised to do so by our safety response team. Please keep all aisles and passageways clear of belongings throughout the ceremony, particularly as our graduates are circulating within the space. If anyone needs assistance during the ceremony, please let a steward know, and we will endeavour to help in any way that they can. At the commencement of the conferring ceremony, I will invite you all to stand for the academic procession who are gathering at the moment, and to remain standing until all members of the academic procession are seated here behind us on the platform. This afternoon's ceremony will be chaired by Mr. Michael Loftus, who's the head of faculty here of Engineering and Science at CIT. For you, our conferees, shortly after the commencement of the conferring ceremony this afternoon, the President will deliver a short introduction empowering him to make the awards to you. When he has finished that introduction, I will require each row of conferees, as directed by our stewards here in the auditorium, to proceed to the platform. Please stay in the order in which you are seated, as the parchments are in that order. When you approach the platform, please wait until your head of department announces the name, then proceed up the ramp here to the stadium, or to the podium, to receive your parchment. In the unlikely event that you are given an incorrect parchment, please do not panic, as it will be resolved after the ceremony by your coordinator. As you will see, we have a photographer here from Barry's Photography to my left, and when you arrive up to the President here to receive your parchment, pause for a moment. When the President is handing you your parchment, you look towards the photographer and smile. You'll be looking at this photograph with pleasure for many years to come. You've worked hard enough for it. So then exit down here to the left. Okay, so just take note of that. Please do not clap after each individual conferee as they receive their parchment. Instead, once each class group has completed their conferring, the head of department will invite the class to rise and receive their ovation from us all. I would now ask that once you've sent out the text to your friends of the address for the live broadcast, that you switch off your mobile phone, or at least put it on silent, because we don't want to interfere with the rest of the ceremony this afternoon. Thank you very much for your attention, and the academic procession will commence momentarily. Okay, please all rise. I now call on the Head of Faculty of Engineering and Science, Mr. Michael Loftus, to commence this afternoon's conferring ceremony.
Graduates of CIT, members of the governing body, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this meeting at which awards of Cork Institute of Technology will be conferred on students of this institute. Our guests on the front platform are, on my immediate left, Dr. Joseph Harrington, Head of School of Building and Civil Engineering. On my immediate right, Dr. Barry O'Connor, President of CIT. On my far right, Dr. Anya Hay, Registrar and Vice President for Academic Affairs here in CIT. Our guests on the rear platform are members of the governing body and members of the academic staff of CIT. I call upon Dr. Barry O'Connor, the President of the Institute, to confer awards on the learners of the Institute for that purpose.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everybody. Begin with the invocation or the prayer of the Padre. So we do it in the two official languages. We only have two for the time being. So as Gaelgar dus, then means Harchaun Institute, agus the Harfa and Udarach, Hamlik to retreat to their Altequegatry, the Achtum Haliachti, agus Jarvu Haliachta, Edicus Auxiliunt and Vlian Garville Sedoyag. Brunim, Davach near Olamori, Son Institute, a Tartaration Kaidan and a Kinnog again Tudra Shin of Wintermach. Agus Yerum, Gogurfer, the Falmori Shin and Malahir, Honabar, Herbert Doive, Goffrimule. On behalf of the Institute, and by virtue of the authority delegated to it under Section 53 of the Qualifications and Quality Assurance Education and Training Act of 2012, I present them with their parchment.
It's my privilege to commence the conferring in the School of Science and Informatics. The school consists of the Department of Biological Sciences, the Department of Computer Science, the Department of Mathematics, programs in this department, Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Science in Cloud Computing, Master of Science in Information Security, Master of Science in Software Development, Postgraduate Diploma in Science in Information Security, Bachelor of Science Honours in Cloud Computing, Bachelor of Science Honours in Computer Systems, Bachelor of Science Honours in IT Management, Bachelor of Science Honours in Software Development, Bachelor of Science Honours in Web Development, Higher Diploma in Science in Cloud and Mobile Software Development, Higher Diploma in Science in Cloud Computing, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Bachelor of Science in Software Development, and Higher Certificate in Science in Software Development.
I call on the President of the Institute, Dr. Barry O'Connor, to initiate the procedure for the award of Doctor of Philosophy in the Department of Computer Science.
Thank you, Tim. So we begin, as Tim said, with the conferring of a doctorate, which is the highest qualification you can get in any educational system. So we take a special few minutes, or more than a few minutes, to honour and to present the parchment, and you will also hear an abstract from the thesis or the topic. And again, like one of the key things, in fact the central thing for a PhD or a doctorate, is that you're actually making a contribution to something novel. So we get on with the formal process again. As Gaelgar dus, Harchaun Institute, agus the Harfa and Udarach, a Hamlik to retreat to their Altequegatry, Dachtum Haliachti, agus Jarvu Haliachta, Idacus Auxiliunt, and Vlian Garville Sedoyag, Brunim and Came, Dr. Leflau Sunucht, Alphonsus Patrick Keary. On behalf of the Institute, and by virtue of the authority delegated to it under Section 53 of the Qualifications and Quality Assurance Education and Training Act of 2012, I hereby confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Alphonsus Patrick Keary.
I have the honour to present Alphonsus Keary for the admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Professor Paul Walsh, Dr. Kieran Delaney, and Professor Matthias Hemie had the privilege of being Alphonsus' supervisors. The title of Alphonsus' PhD thesis is effective computing for motion detection using vision and wearable sensors. The research conducted in this PhD explored the strengths, opportunities, challenges and limitations of effective computing, which is a study of AI systems that can detect and influence human emotions. This research has resulted in new AI software systems, has produced international scientific publications, and has contributed to major EU-funded projects. This concludes this part of the meeting for the purpose of conferring the award of Doctor of Philosophy in the Department of Computer Science. We now proceed to the conferring of the next award. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Master of Science in Cloud Computing, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Damien Wajniak, in absentia. David Foley. Jonathan Gautier, in absentia. Felix Kluge, in absentia. Igor Krukovic. Ahmed Mohammed Ibrahim Emin Ibrahim Mahmoud, in absentia. Davor Niksik, in absentia. Raymond O'Leary. Mark Timothy O'Regan. Marianne Radoy. Georgy Ivanov Uznov. Honorata Vaticone. Albert Patrick Williams. Would the graduates of the award of Master of Science in Cloud Computing please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Master of Science in Information Security, and I request you to present their parchment to them. Christopher Adams. Adedamola Olusegun Afolabi. Franklin Aguido, in absentia. Abdul Wahid Al-Midani. Saicharan Good Aligiri. Ange Berry. Edward Corcoran. Meng Yu Du, in absentia. Joseph Benjamin Egan. Greta Joside. Sagar Motwani. Pratik Shashikant Sapkal. Mauro Montenegro Silva. Would the graduates of the Award of Master of Science in Information Security please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the Award of Master of Science in Software Development, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Christopher Matthew Burke. James Bernard Collins. David Ronan Donnelly. Pavel Drozd. Jack Hanley. Ian Horgan. David John McCarthy. Darrell Robert Peters. Jacob Thomas Pataki. Tiago Silva dos Santos. Alex Julian Thomas. Would the graduates of the Award of Master of Science in Software Development please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Science and Information Security, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Michael Patrick Leahy, in absentia. Roslyn Rokovich Placella, in absentia. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who is worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Cloud Computing, and I would request you to present his parchment to him. Arkadiusz Gozowski, in absentia. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Computer Systems, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Alan Finbar Buckley. Ronan Owen Crowley. Shane Christopher Daly. Kevin Michael DeVries. Aaron Patrick Dunley. Alan Martin Kelly. Clara Ann Martin. Leslie Michael McCarthy. Jason William Quinlan. Maciej Marcin Saflaski. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Computer Systems please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in IT Management, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Alexandru Barbarossi. Sebastian Blesnowski. David Edward Cantwell. Oliver Julian Rene Andre Catesson. Shane Patrick Corridon. Adam Rees Cotter. David Patrick St. John Kremen, in absentia. Sean Paul Hickey, in absentia. Megan Kate Carney. Sean Keating. Patrick Kelleher. Igor Rizard Kolosinski. Adam Patrick Manley Kelly. Aidan William Thomas Mitchell. Martin Vincent Murphy. Paul O'Connor. Owen Patrick O'Driscoll. In absentia. Colin Power. David Regan. Samuel Rourke. Brian William Sarsfield, in absentia. Mario Luke Schnell. Seneca John Searles. Norbert Skorzewski. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in IT Management please stand for their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Software Development, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Peter David Burton. Alexander Sebastian Schmiel, in absentia. Dylan Roland Koss. Jeremiah Christopher Cotter. David Martin Cole. Brian Donald Coveney. Owen Coleman Cronin. Robert John Crowley. Timothy Owen Cummins. Daniel Thomas Dellery. Keane Brendan Dowling. Niall Patrick Hennessy. Sean Joseph Holland. Padraig John William Jarvis. Alexander Patrick Kerwin. Owen Kevin Lynch. Mark Andrew McCormick. Alan John Dennis McGrath. Stephen Paul McGrath. Ryan Thomas Meany. Camille Dominic Moody. David Michael Murphy. Joshua Richard Nuttall. Richard Matthew O'Callaghan. Liam Eric O'Gorman. Robert Owen O'Riordan. Brian Finbar Reynolds. Matthew William Shallow. Connor Toomey. Vilius Valiusis. Cursor Daniel Vlasin. Louise Maria Walsh. Headley Peter Jonathan Ward. Would the graduates of the Award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Software Development please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the Award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Web Development. And I would request you to present their parchment to them. Joseph Edward Hare, in absentia. Monica Danilova Ivanova. Michelle Ann McGinty. Colin Raymond Murphy. Killian Michael Nolan. Cian Woods. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Web Development please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Higher Diploma in Science in Cloud and Mobile Software Development, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Declan Jeremiah Crowley, in absentia. Joella Flood, in absentia. James Hayes, in absentia. Earl Ledesma, in absentia. Amy Denise Long, in absentia. Aaron O'Connor, in absentia. David O'Regan, in absentia. Alan O'Riordan, Roger O'Sullivan, in absentia. Leslie Power, William Vance, Jabin Ward, in absentia. The graduates of the Higher Diploma in Science in Cloud and Mobile Software Development please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Higher Diploma in Science in Cloud Computing, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. David Dominic Barrett, in absentia. Graham Clark, in absentia. Malgorzata Cardas, in absentia. Sebastian Lambert, in absentia. Jamie Moore, Aidan Riley, in absentia. Would a graduate of the award of Higher Diploma in Science in Cloud Computing please stand to receive his ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Conor Mark Allen, in absentia. Nicholas Daniel Buttimer, Brian Kieran Byrne, Shane Carroll, Marko Serkovic, Kira Crowley, absentia. Glenn Dennis Dunley, Mark Levi Facon, in absentia. Robin Alexander Gohan, Adam Gilroy. Brendan Christopher Harrington. Mihal Owen Lucy. William Vincent Lyons. James Patrick McCarthy. Ryan Monaghan. Keelan John O'Connor. In absentia. Daniel George Saunders Perkins. In absentia. David Punch. Paul Quigley. Dennis Gerard Sheehan, absentia. Joseph William Tendanella. Alan Walsh. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science in Software Development, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. James Edward Broderick. Liam John Chambers. Sinead Francis Collin. Colin Charles Dunn. In absentia. Jack Julian Hickey. David John Keane. Paul Timothy Murphy. Patrick O'Connell. Ben O'Donnell. Terence O'Donnell. In absentia. Christopher Dennis O'Riordan. Calvin John Riordan. Colin Patrick Ryan. Aaron David Williams. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science in Software Development please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Computer Science and are worthy of the award of Higher Certificate in Science and Software Development, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Vladimir Batusik, in absentia. Robert Colin O'Leary, in absentia. Brian Noel Hanley, in absentia. Ruben Sousa Rodriguez, in absentia. That's it.
I call upon Dr. David Goulding, Head of Department of Mathematics, to present the candidates from his department. Awards will be made in respect of the following programmes in this department: Higher Diploma in Science, in Data Science and Analytics.
President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme in the Department of Mathematics and who are worthy of the award of Higher Diploma in Science, in Data Science and Analytics, and I will request you to present their parchment to them. Agea Cardo. Larkin Connolly, in absentia. Anthony Rudy Mantieri. Aidan McCarthy. Stephen Louis Murphy. Kieran O'Brien, in absentia. Diana Petahova. Jean-Michel Roubelin. Christina Skripkowski, in absentia. Robin Spiteri, in absentia. And Fiona Trott, in absentia. Would the graduates of the award of Higher Diploma in Science and Data Science and Analytics please stand to receive their ovation.
This concludes this part of the meeting for the purpose of conferring awards on the students of our institute in the School of Science and Informatics. I now proceed to the conferring of awards in the School of Building and Civil Engineering. I call upon Dr. Joseph Harrington, Head of School of Building and Civil Engineering, to commence the conferring in his school.
The School of Building and Civil Engineering consists of the Department of Architecture, the Department of Civil Structure and Environmental Engineering, and the Department of Construction. I call upon Dr. Daniel Cahill, Head of Department of Construction, to present the candidates from his department. Awards will be made in respect of the following programmes in this department: Bachelor of Science Honours in Construction Management, Bachelor of Science Honours in Quantity Surveying, Bachelor of Science in Construction Management, Bachelor of Science in Quantity Surveying.
President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Construction and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Construction Management, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. William Dennis Carrigan. Albert Anthony Carroll. Padraig Sean Crowley. Tig Lucas Curran. Patrick Jeremiah Kelly. James Brian McGee. David Anthony Mulcahy. John James Nolan. Kevin Philip O'Donnell. Cian O'Donovan. Killian Martin O'Donovan. Alan Mark O'Shea. Sean James O'Sullivan. Colin James Shorley. Emmett Sinnott, in absentia. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Construction Management please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Construction and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Quantity Surveying, and I request you to present their parchment to them. Jean Teresa Butler. Patrick James Butler. Philip Timothy Casey. Eric Robert Cox. Paul John Farmer. Stephen Hickey. Dominic Gerard Kiley. Donica Finton Leahy. Darren Michael Lomasny. Dara Peter McCarthy. Owen Gerard Murray. Daniel Jerome O'Connor. Darren Niall O'Connor. Gavin Florence O'Leary. Paul O'Neill. Garrod Joseph O'Sullivan. Joshua David Pine. Aaron Connor Ronan. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Quantity Surveying please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Construction and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science in Construction Management, and I request you to present their parchment to them. Martin McAuliffe in absentia, Jonathan O'Mahony in absentia. We might give them a short ovation just to recognise their award. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Construction and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science in Quantity Surveying, and I request you to present their parchment to them. Graham Barry. Jamie Carroll. Paul Anthony Desmond in absentia. Ronan Michael Healy. Michael Gerard O'Riordan. Mark John Russell. Iratze Saenz del Burgo in absentia. Colin Donald Sheehan. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science in Quantity Surveying please stand to receive their ovation.
I call upon Ms. Catherine Keane, Head of Department of Architecture, to present the candidates from her department. Awards will be made in respect of the following programmes in this department: Bachelor of Science Honours in Architectural Technology, Bachelor of Science Honours in Interior Architecture, Bachelor of Science in Architectural Technology, Bachelor of Science in Interior Architecture.
President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Architecture and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Architectural Technology, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Mark Daniel Cahill. Sean Martin Hannafin. Emily Jane Keedy. Rory Myers. Anton Shoskinski. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Architectural Technology please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Architecture and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Interior Architecture, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Cian Daly, David Dillon, Michael Finbar Fitton, Shannon Kate Hunter, Katarzyna Irina Kulik, Alvin Anson Lay in absentia, Jordan Mulcahy, Aoife Nora Ryan, Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science Honours in Interior Architecture please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Architecture and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science in Architectural Technology, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Lauren Jules Elsie in absentia, Adriano Benito Iodis, Owen Thomas McKivern, Sean Luke O'Connor, Joshua Pinkham. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science in Architectural Technology please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in the Department of Architecture and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Science in Interior Architecture, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Louise Mary Coughlin. Dorota Diana Kata. Emma Ellen O'Mahony. Emma Stanovikatute. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Science in Interior Architecture please stand to receive their ovation?
I call upon Mr. Des Walsh, Head of Department of Civil Structure and Environmental Engineering, to present the candidates from his department. Awards will be made in respect to the following programmes in this department: Master of Engineering in Structural Engineering, Master of Engineering in Civil Engineering, Environment and Energy, Postgraduate Diploma in Engineering and Civil Engineering, Environment and Energy, Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Structural Engineering, Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering, Bachelor of Engineering in Environmental Engineering.
President, I present to you the following candidate who has successfully completed a programme in the Department of Civil, Structural and Environmental Engineering and who is worthy of the award of Master of Engineering in Structural Engineering, and I would request you to present his parchment to him. Owen Costello. And I would invite Owen, the graduate of the award of Master of Engineering in Structural Engineering, to remain standing for his ovation, please. President, I present to you the following candidate who has successfully completed a programme in the Department of Civil, Structural and Environmental Engineering and who is worthy of the award of Master of Engineering in Civil Engineering, Environment and Energy, and I would request you to present his parchment to him. Branislav Batel, in absentia. President, I present to you the following candidate who has successfully completed a programme in the Department of Civil, Structural and Environmental Engineering and who is worthy of the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Civil Engineering, Environment and Energy, and I would request you to present his parchment to him. Declan O'Connor, in absentia. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Civil, Structural and Environmental Engineering and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Structural Engineering, and I would request you to present their parchments to them. Ahmed Alatabi, in absentia. Stephen Patrick Buckley. Cathal Patrick Clark. Thomas Graham Crowe. Mark Owen DeLacy. Cormac Porrick McMurrough. Cueva Ann Marley. Mark William McTighe. David Anthony O'Callaghan. Lydia K. O'Shea, in absentia. Darren O'Sullivan. And Alison Jane Purcell. So would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Structural Engineering please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Civil, Structural and Environmental Engineering and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering, and would request you to present their parchments to them. Haywan Ann, Rachel Barr, in absentia. Dermot Michael Cadigan, in absentia. Jet Kiefer Carino. Paul Michael Carroll. Michael Campion, in absentia. Jack Thomas Cunningham. Brian Martin Feehan. Sean Francis Feehan. Ian Michael Flannery. Niall Mihal Fogarty, Cathal Liam Joseph Foley, Kenny Mabila, Stephen Gerard McGivern, Jack Robert McLaughlin, Cormac Murphy, Emer Francis Murphy, Owen Patrick Murphy, in absentia, Killian Thomas O'Connell, Zoe Linda O'Hanlon, Matthew Nicholas O'Leary, Nicholas Patrick O'Sullivan, Clarice Marie Roland, in absentia, Nathan Patrick Walsh. So I'd ask the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering to please stand to receive their ovation. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Civil, Structural and Environmental Engineering and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Engineering in Environmental Engineering, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Darren Alexander Carey. And David Christopher Spiteri, in absentia. So by coincidence, Darren is the last graduate of this particular occasion, and his dad, Alfie, was the first graduate of this ceremony. So I'd like Darren to stand, and probably his dad as well.
This concludes this part of the meeting for the purpose of conferring awards on the students of our institute. I now call on our President, Dr. Barry O'Connor, to address you.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you everyone for your great participation this afternoon. Members of the governing body, colleagues, graduates and supporters and financiers of graduates at the back of the hall. Well done to everybody. Tres Liam the Gachine go will came fact the concert on you. Sunter and Law, Tom Green Tanov, Tabor for bar fact to give, Tab job and give, Tom Sale Gebra. Fair play. It's, as John Spillane would say, back to the hit factory for next year again. This is a great day for CIT, and just looking at the degrees that we presented this afternoon, it shows how relevant CIT degrees are, how relevant CIT is nationally to the region and particularly here to Cork. We have ICT graduates, computer science graduates who are being snapped up, and I'm sure a lot of the in absentias that were here today are probably out making their few shillings as we speak. We have our construction, civil engineers, structural engineers who are again in huge demand. And it shows how relevant the programmes are here in CIT, because that's what we base our programme design on, our programme validation and continuance of programmes, that they are relevant to the needs of society, of the community, of business and of the enterprise, and of basically of taxpayers who are funding this operation here. It's great to see, again, the resurgence in the construction side of the house. I think it's maybe 3 weeks ago here we had our annual careers fair. This hall was full, the hall next door was full. Honest to God, you could not move with the amount of employers that were inside here trying to get at our students across the full board, on the social side, on the community side, engineering, computer science, science, rec, leisure, you name it. So there is a request by the HEA to all third level institutions that every degree programme would contain an employability statement. Well, our statement was made going back 3 or 4 weeks ago. The industry, the community cannot get enough for CIT graduates, and it does go back to the relevance of our programmes. Whenever a new programme is proposed here in the Institute, and we bring them online, maybe depending on the year, we'd have 3, 4, 5, 6 or more new programmes every year. The first question is asked, very simple, is there a demand for that? Or in English, are there jobs available for graduates in this particular discipline? And if the proposing team, no matter how strong the programme is, or how academic, or how up to standard it is, if they cannot produce the evidence that there are jobs available for this particular programme, well then you don't get past first base. And the programme gets redesigned until it's relevant to what we do. And maybe since we have our computer science department graduating here today, and it is the biggest computer science department in the country, let it be said. Right? The relevance of what we do here in CIT is illustrated in a recent book by Michael Moynihan from the Cork Examiner. Now, Michael normally writes he's generally kind of a sports reporter, but Michael has penned a book just come out recently called Cork in the 80s, Crisis and Comeback. And there's a chapter on that dedicated to an interview by a great colleague and friend of ours, Larry Poland. And Larry was the head of electronic engineering here in the Institute, or Cork RTC as it was, way back when. And the story is told, and Larry retells it, and he doesn't tell it to us too often, though. He tells us lots of other stuff, Larry does, but he doesn't tell us the story too often. When Apple came to Cork, having met with Larry Poland and seeing what relevant programs we had here in CIT, or the Cork RTC as it was at the time. So CIT was responsible for Apple coming to Cork. And then there's the story told, and it's a true story. Mary McAleese told the story to one of our colleagues, Bundy Snowcrown, when she was up there for another function, but it is told, and it's a true story. It's in Michael Moynihan's book. Richard Egan, the late Richard Egan, who was the American ambassador to Ireland, he was the E in EMC. It was the EMC, which is now in Dell EMC, if you get my drift. But Richard Egan was part of the delegation travelling the world looking for a site for a new EMC factory. And he was in Scotland, he was other places in Ireland, I'm sure, and they came to Cork. And usually when you go to, because we have IDA visitors on a regular basis here, I thought we put our courses in front of them, this is what we can do, this is our research and so on. And you're mad selling, trying to get the industry to move in. But when they came to Cork, and as part of the Cork delegation, Larry Poland went to Richard Egan and he said, I'm Larry Poland, I'm head of electronic engineering in the Cork RTC, what can we do for you? Right? As simple as that. Not, this is what we have, please take us. Larry said, what can we do for you? And according to Richard Egan, who was the E in the EMC previously, and then subsequently, God rest him, his partner, but employed outside in Dublin, and VMware is spun off. Now they're called Dell, EMC, or just Dell. So that's going back maybe 30, 40 years in terms of, maybe 30 years anyway, I guess, in terms of Apple, and that it points to the relevance of our course design and delivery here in CIT. And again, it goes back to the careers fair we had here a few weeks ago, where employers right across the world, right across the country, certainly in British Isles as well, cannot get enough of ye or graduates. And looking at the standard of the results here today, and the quality of the people we have in front of us as graduates, you know, you're fantastic ambassadors for yourselves, for your families, and certainly for CIT. So, you know, we're delighted to be conferring you here today, and that you'll fly the CIT flag as you go across the globe and become leaders. I mean, talking about leaders, and there's not a history lesson, and there won't be an exam at the end of it either, but Rob Shaw, who is the Vice President of Microsoft, is a graduate of CIT, graduate of the old Cork RTC. And we've had some fantastic graduates from here, and I'm sure, looking here, we have a lot more here today. But we have structural engineers, construction, QS, ICT. There is an issue in terms of the government putting their money where their mouth is, really, in terms of supporting technology programs, supporting engineering and science, and indeed tourism programs as well. The economic engine of this country is driven by ye folks here in front of us today. On the ICT side, on construction, engineering, manufacturing engineering we had this morning, process and chemical engineering, food and biosciences. But it is very expensive to actually train people in technologies. And as things got, well, basically, as things got rough in the last few years, the level of financial support extended to institutes teaching engineering or science, or for that matter, in medicine and dentistry as well. The level of support has gone down. And that happens to, so the level of finance, which had been agreed maybe back 10 years ago, the finance model hasn't kept up. So we are basically asking the government to restore the proper level of funding to ensure that when we're teaching with advanced technology, when we're teaching at small class sizes, be it in workshops, in computer labs, in design studios, that, you know, that we are properly supported to make sure that we can keep the high quality of graduates coming out here, not as worker bees for industry, but as leaders of the industry and community and enterprise. And there is a shift in the tide, but it needs to turn a bit faster. You know, so that's a request we would have. And in terms, for example, of this new technological university, which we will be aspiring to in terms of our relationship with our colleagues in IT Tralee, the Munster Technological University, as we will be calling it, there should be a proper funding mechanism there to ensure access to education on one side, and on the other side, properly resourced science, technology, engineering, tourism, music education, which are all very, very expensive, as I say, be it for small class sizes, high cost of materials, high cost of technology. So that's one of the reasons we're going for this MTU, to get into this new funding model, which will make our programs, well, keep them up to speed and give our staff the proper tools to work with in terms of delivering. I mentioned DMC and Dell. We have a lot of connections with industry, with the professional bodies right across the board here. Michael here is quite involved with IT at Cork, as a lot of other colleagues are. I guess the real thing that we have going for us here, our programs are of the highest academic standard, but they're also of the highest relevance. And they're of the highest relevance because our programs here in CIT at last count, we have over 40 professional bodies accrediting our degrees. So we don't do degrees just for the sake of doing them. We keep the high academic standard, and we keep the recognition and the professionalism that is required by whatever sector of industry you're going into, whether it is Engineers Ireland, whether it is Chartered Accountants, whether it is the MedLab consultants. You know? So again, it's a tough game from our point of view to balance the academic with the requirements of industry. But by keeping in touch with industry, we can tell industry what the requirements are coming down the line. And so we work together like that. So that goes to the relevance of your degrees. And again, as I say, we are doing something right when this hall and the hall next door were just jam-packed. We had to turn some people away in terms of employers because we couldn't fit them in. But hopefully, within the next couple of years, we'll have a new indoor sports arena just over the road here where we'll be able to do that and maybe have 3 venues going at the same time. In terms of building, this time next year, we will have started on a new learning resource centre out the front here. It will be a €22 million learning resource centre, which again will be important from the point of view of accommodating the growth. CIT student numbers grow every year. Now, in the last few years, there's been a fall off in terms of the demographics in the Cork region, but notwithstanding that, our numbers continue to grow. They continue to grow at entry, and they continue to grow in terms of retention of our students and the success levels of our students. You hear a lot of talk about your students falling out of programs, particularly on the engineering and the science side of things. We are held up as a national model by the HEA as to our partnership with students, and some of our graduates here would have benefited from that over the years, in terms of the way we partner with our students and support them to succeed in what they're doing here within the Institute. And I suppose that success spreads elsewhere as well. We had just recently one of our graduates, Yvonne O'Byrne, won a silver medal, the World Cup silver medal in hockey. She's on that team. She's a graduate of CIT, doing a PhD here as well. And the old Gary O'Donovan from Skibbereen is also a graduate, and Gary picked up a European medal and a gold medal there during the summer as well. So, and again, an outstanding student, Gary, graduated out of here 2 years ago, and another great ambassador for CIT. On top of that, we have people winning All-Ireland medals, or ladies were on the senior camogie team won the All-Ireland this year, and the All-Ireland intermediate camogie team. We had graduates and current students on the All-Ireland intermediate hurling team, which won the All-Ireland this year. Now, generally we have guys winning All-Ireland as well, senior hurling, but they tend to play for Kilkenny. So Kilkenny people do come down here. In terms of our other contributions, Cian O'Neill was here at the previous Conferring. He's the manager of the famous Kildare football team. We have John Myler, who will be here tomorrow for our other Conferrings. John, as you know, brought Cork to won the Munster Championship for Cork, not for Cork, as manager. He might say he won it, but we won't say that. But John is the manager of the Kilkenny, of the Cork hurling team. He'll kill me if he hears that now. Rewind the tape there for the rub that up. Myler will kill me. No, but we make a huge contribution across the board. I mean, in the past 12 months, for example, and for the last 3 years now, we have an amazing cooperation going with Cope Services in terms of an advocacy programme for residents above in Cope. And it's just an outstanding programme for empowering those residents up there and empowering the staff as well in terms of advocating for our friends in Cope. We've also, for example, in the last 12 months, got involved through our access service over here with the Cork Prison Service. And our lecturers go up there and deliver modules to less fortunate people who happen to be above in Cork Prison. So it's not just about the degrees here. And you might be graduating with a degree in structural engineering. I have to say probably the best structural, if not civil engineering degree in the country. Probably the toughest as well. But you're graduating from an ecosystem, as we call it, which is the partnership of all these professional bodies, of our dealings with industry, of our dealings with the community. So it's not just CIT. The traditional universities, when we open up Oscuelga and in English here, the traditional universities would stand up and say, or the president would say in Latin, admitto vobis ad gradum baccalaureus, or whatever it means. I admit you into the community of graduates. So today, you have been admitted into the community of graduates, into our community here as graduates and members of the Institute here. So, Fáilte Rovistach, Aus Gynnarig Galdiv. There was another, I'll just finish up on this because I'm sure you didn't come in here there's probably dinner reservations waiting and maybe pints waiting as well elsewhere for you. There was an old saying I came across last year, and it's about sticking together and working together, and it goes to the effect, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. So what I'm saying is, stay connected with your colleagues. And I know whether you're going to be a resident engineer or a programmer or whatever, a lot of the disciplines represented here today tend to be sole traders or being the only QS on site or whatever. Stay connected with your colleagues and comrades you've made here in CIT, and stay connected with us as well. you know, and we'll work on together. And again, practically in all the disciplines here today, CPD, continual professional development, is very important. We're here to help you with that, you know. And again, as I generally say, when you make your first million, you can call back in as well, and like Larry Poland does, and give us a donation. We'd be delighted to accept it. No, it's been a great day. Thanks to Michael for arranging for the sun to shine outside and inside. It's been a fantastic day. Congratulations. Well done. Go noire Gallivre fad. Agus so bur mi live whole I capante. So got a meal mahagov.
Thanks, Barry, for your very kind words there and great insights. On behalf of the faculty, I'm delighted to be here this evening congratulating everybody to mark this terrific event. It's a great milestone in your careers as you set out now. There's a lot of choices available to you, industry, professional practice, research, education, or any other field of interest to you is open to be taken advantage of and to be explored. The choices are expanding at an incredible rate, and over the course of your careers will expand even more. We believe you are very well prepared for the voyage that lies ahead. As things stand at the moment, 91% of our graduates within 9 months of graduating are in employment or further study. There's another 2 to 3% travelling. Effectively, that means 19 out of 20 are employed or are in further study within a short time of graduation. The salaries that are being won by graduates from the Faculty of Engineering and Science in CIT are the top of any area in the Institute. The average sort of starting salary is 25 to 35,000 euros per annum. We have some people starting on 40, some people starting on 50, and some people starting on 60. So that's a reflection of the demand that exists out there for the graduates. We're being called on a daily basis by employers looking to produce more graduates. We could produce twice as many if we can get the students in from the post-primary sector. So the demand is incredible. The degrees are highly respected. The opportunities to move to senior positions within a short position of graduating right now are incredible. It's a time of rich opportunity. Take full advantage of it. What I would say to you is don't necessarily pick the job that pays the most. Pick the job that will give you the best experience. Because in the long term, the job that gives you the best experience is the job that's going to guarantee and secure your future. If you've been around as long as I have, you'll be and you all will be in due course when we're long gone, you'll go through multiple economic cycles. When I went into electrical engineering back in the day, there was full employment for electrical engineers. When I graduated 4 years later, 90% of my class emigrated because there wasn't a job to be had in the country. So invest in yourselves, build your capabilities, drive on, keep your heads up, be aware of what's happening around you, and without a doubt that will help you make the best longer term decisions for yourself, which when the downturns come in due course will position you robustly to deal with those as and when they employ in this region more than 2,500 people. We make a huge impact in the engineering and science faculty area. The President has relayed the stories about Larry Poland. The same stories are happening today. We have companies locating in the region because they're meeting colleagues who are developing courses and programs and initiatives that address their requirements, and they're locating here rather than anywhere else. If you look at the proportion of jobs in Cork that depend on foreign direct investment, in other words, firms from the United States and elsewhere investing in this region, it's the highest in the country. And they're coming here for the talent and for the engagement model. Long may it continue, but there's remarkable credit due to my colleagues for what they are delivering in that context. They're constantly looking for new ways to put Cork on the map in areas such as innovation, research, education, industry engagement and so on. And they're putting a lot of work into attracting international students to Cork. So currently in CIT we've approximately 1,100 students from nationalities other than Irish from approximately 80 different countries. They're making a profound impact in the economy. They're making a profound impact in the Institute. They're making a great cultural impact, a great social impact. They're most welcome and a fantastic addition to ourselves here. The faculty continues to participate strongly in the evolution of education, so there are more online programs available than ever before, and certainly the departments here today are pioneers in that regard. There's a strong focus on work-based learning, learning while in industry and getting academic credit for it, recognition of prior learning, having the learning recognised that was accomplished outside of the walls of CIT. There's a strong focus on lifelong learning, so creating options for you as graduates when you move into the workplace so that you can learn continuously, add value to yourselves, add value to the regions, enhance your own leadership capacity and potential, anchor more jobs in the regions, and in turn anchor the communities associated with yourselves. So all of that, there's fantastic work going on. And it's a privilege for all of us here in the faculty to be involved in this context in an area that impacts so directly on the lives of individuals and the lives of the communities in which we serve. I'd say to you to be confident in yourself, but continue to work hard as well. Don't take today's circumstances for granted. Strike a balance between enjoying life and consistently adding to your professional and educational experience. Do both. Enjoy and add on a continuous basis. The President has referenced some of the funding challenges. I want to talk about how funding and staffing are interrelated. In recent years, it's been well publicised that there are major funding challenges facing the Irish higher education sector. In this context, the only means we've had to address those challenges is by relying on our talented and dedicated members of staff to continuously make a difference. So, whether it's our academics mentoring our students to success in the University Startup Business World Cup, which they did 2 weeks ago. They came second place in the world, in the World Cup Startup, Business Startup World Cup, and beat the likes of Harvard, Johns Hopkins University, and so on and so forth, beat them well down the line. Or whether it's our innovation staff helping people to start businesses, or our careers office supporting the efforts of students to secure employment, or our caretakers offering good humoured support on a daily basis, or whether it's our structural engineers who support or who have been producing structural engineers for 20 years this year, or our computer scientists reaching out online, or other colleagues here who are making fantastic contributions. Our staff members have not been found wanting in any way, shape or form, and I wish to sincerely acknowledge the efforts of all here today. While I'm acknowledging the contribution of our own staff members, I want to acknowledge the contribution of the supporters of our graduates. Many of our graduates might never have seen this day without the support of parents, guardians, siblings, family and extended family members, partners and friends. I think it's appropriate now that we'd offer a round of applause for all the supporters. To conclude, as you graduate today and move on to another phase in your another chapter, please stay in touch with us through all the usual online platforms. We're very active. We love to hear your stories, your experiences and so on and so forth, and also stay connected through our Alumni Association, which is particularly active as well at this time. I want to thank the organisers of this afternoon's event. They've done a wonderful job, and I want to thank all of you. Thanks for your attention, much appreciated. On behalf of the President, I'd like to invite our newly conferred PhD graduate. I heard some people refer to him as Alphonsus today. I know him as Alfie. So Alfie, we'll be inviting you with your supervisors to lead the academic procession. Therefore, I'd invite you all now to rise, please, while the academic procession leaves the conferring hall. Thank you.